This review contains heavy spoilers. View at your own risk. What is up, everybody? This is Copperlight Marty. I've been meaning to do movie reviews for a long time now, and I just haven't been able to get around to doing them, and then what better time to do it now than starting up a YouTube channel? Generally, I'll be reviewing movies of the horror genre, just because I really, really, really love the horror genre. It's got a big spot in my heart. I love all things horror. I love writing horror. I love reading horror. I love watching horror. It's just my thing, and I love reviewing it. That isn't to say that I don't have anything negative to say about horror. Oh, no, you'd be wrong on that. I've got tons of negative things to talk about when it comes to horror. Because, in my own opinion, horror has become basically dead in the last 10 years. There's been a few gems that have actually lived up to the horror name. Because people think they can make a horror film with blood and guts and automatically become a horror movie. It doesn't take blood and guts to make a horror movie. It's about the mind. It's about tone, atmosphere, aesthetics. It's all about that. Good villains, good characters, and a good story. You cannot rely solely on gore to make a good horror film. If you do, you'll just fall flat. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. The film in question is Martyrs. And man, I went into this movie with quite a bit of hype, I've heard so many good things about this movie. So many reviews on it. I thought it was going to be this awesome horror movie that I've never seen. Because up until recently, this movie has been completely under the radar for me, and I researched and I've heard, like I said, I heard a lot of good things about it. I went in with good hype. And then I saw it, and I can just tell you right now, I was severely disappointed. People were telling me this movie was going to fuck me up, I was going to be scared out of my mind. But you know what? I was more confused and bored than I was scared. So the movie starts out with this girl whose name is Lucy. She escapes from some prison-type abandoned-looking area. She's obviously been kept there for a long time, abused. And she goes into an orphanage and befriends a girl named Anna. She discovers that she has this imaginary friend. We're never given an explanation as to why or how this happened. We kind of just have to go with it. We're kind of have to guess. I didn't like that because this thing came out of nowhere and we're supposed to accept it. Like, how? Why is she seeing this thing, I just feel like it was shoehorned in. Because apparently it's both mental and physical, yet it's not actually there. Because there's a scene where Lucy is fighting her imaginary friend, and it visibly hurts her. Yet it's still imaginary. We're never given an explanation as to why this is happening and why she's seeing this thing. We just kind of have to go with it. And that's where I get a little annoyed. Well, anyway, and so 15 years later, they're more mature in age, and Lucy bursts into this freaking house full of this yuppie fucking family. She fucking annihilates them. Apparently, they were the people who were responsible for her abuse, but we're not sure because the family is never brought up again besides seeing their corpses all over the place. But I will give the movie props. That scene was very well done. But apparently the mom survives a shotgun to the kidneys and lower back. I don't think that's possible. But we'll gloss over that for now. So basically after that, she has a big fight with her imaginary friend. Ends up killing herself later on. And Anna discovers this and she's very saddened by it. But later she's approached by people who are apparently an organization that experiments on people to create Xenobites. So they could discover the secrets of the afterlife through the creation of, quote, martyrs through various acts of torture. But it appears that pretty much every attempt to seek the secrets of the afterlife have failed, and she is the next attempt. So Anna goes through a series of pussy torture and one really violent torture at the very, very end, which I will talk about in a minute. And she sees the afterlife, what's it like, but at the end, we're never really given an explanation because the person who she told it to kills herself at the very last shot. So, yeah. Well, I guess I could start out by saying this movie did not fuck me up one bit. Okay, it was not very scary. It was more like, I don't know. But it certainly wasn't scary. In fact, like I said, I was actually pretty disappointed in this while watching. Because I was expecting this really sick, cruel, psychological horror film. Kind of what I saw in the beginning of this movie in Act 1. But it fell flat. And it seemed like I was watching two stories at the same time. You could have easily made another movie that focused more on Lucy's search for these tormentors. I mean, they kind of just completely gloss over that. I mean, we're just introduced to these characters, and boom, they're fucking dead. We don't get any backstory on that. How they track them, how they manage to find them, anything like that. We never get that. No explanation. They just find them. And then with Act 2 and 3, it felt like another movie, It was more along the lines of a torture porn film, except the torture was very, very weak sauce. Let me explain it to you. Basically, it's Anna being strapped down to a chair with chains for an endless amount of time. We don't know how much time she's been down there, but the torture goes like this. Okay, this big buff dude comes down, beats the shit out of her. Comes back, makes her eat some sort of pasty white material. No, it's not cum. But, it's more along the lines of like oatmeal kind of texture. I don't know what the hell it was, but apparently it was disgusting from the look on her face. But it's basically that, rinse, lather, repeat. It's basically the same thing over and over again. It's very weak sauce. And, I just thought it was very unnecessary. They could have done a lot with the torture. But then we get to the last part. The part where she is flayed alive. Skinned alive. And, that's one of my biggest fears is being skinned alive. But, in this, you didn't see it. There was no point. You didn't see the actual process. It was kind of anticlimactic. Because once they start cutting, it flips to another scene, and then we get to see her, and she's like, it's just her flayed body just like dangling there. It's pretty anticlimactic, if you ask me. And I gotta admit, the ending pissed me off quite a bit. It felt incomplete. I didn't feel fulfilled, and I was really disappointed by it. Because you never know. You don't know the answer to it. You don't know what it's like. So what? And before people tell me that, oh, well, not knowing something could actually add to its scariness and being frightening. You are correct. You are not wrong. However, this was the ending, and they were trying to build up this whole martyr thing, and we end up still not knowing. It's pointless. The ending was dumb. At least give us a hint. I just think it was dumb. It was very unfulfilling, and I was not satisfied with it whatsoever. I felt like I wasted my entire time. I just left the film with more questions than answers, to be honest. And that really troubled me, because I really wanted this film to be awesome. I was going into it with the hype from other people. For me, I gave this film a C-. Could have been better, but it didn't suck. I still enjoyed it somewhat. I don't particularly recommend it, but if you're bored and you want to watch just some random movie, Martyrs is your movie. So, yeah, that's my review of Martyrs. Have a good day, guys. If you've seen the movie, comment below. Tell me what your opinions are on it. I'd love to know.